This shit, it got me fucking geeking. I wish I could tell y'all what I just went through. I'm gonna tell y'all what I went through before I even start the video. Bam, bro, I start this game earlier. Alright, so it's about a nigga. This shit is about a nigga sitting at a desk and he been doing the same shit. And then one day, the same shit that he been doing just stopped working one day. And like, I don't know, he just realized that there's nobody in the building. And so now he's wandering through the building trying to find everybody. And then, alright, so when I first started the game, I was walking and there was a narrator and I'm walking through the doors and the fucking narrator tells me, well, and then he was faced with two doors and he walked through the left one. Mind you, it's two doors and I could walk through either one of them. So the narrator said I walked through the left one. So I'm like, you know, I'm gonna be a rebellion, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go through the right door. Nigga, I went through the right door, and the narrator started narrating like he knew I was about to go through that motherfucking door. So you know what I did? I quit that motherfucker so fast. I said, nigga, you niggas don't know. Now I'm about to quit this motherfucker, go through the left door, and see what happened. Because the left door was the way I was supposed to go. I was being rebellious and went through the right door. I was scared to even find out what was on the right side. So then, oh yeah, mind you, when I started the game, it told me to set the time. I set the time, but then I quit the game. Mind you, I quit the game because I went that right door instead of the left door. They snapping on this clipboard shit, on the slide shit. But anyway, I quit. I set the time before when I first hopped on the game. They made me set the time. Bam, I set the time. I do the shit. I quit. I would get. Oh shit. Anyway, yeah, I do this shit and yeah, I put the time in and I start the game, quit the game, and then set the time again. And this time when I set the time, it gave me a message like, we noticed that you set the correct time both times. Just some crazy shit, bro. This shit got me tweaking, bro, and that shit got me feeling like, yeah, bro. Holy shit, I just opened my first door. I'm scared to walk in there.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Like, y'all hear it?
Here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Nah, that's definitely reason to still be here. Say no, it's probably not. It's probably literally no reason. I don't think the narrator got any reason to lie to me.
A staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yeah, I see this, but I could actually walk downstairs if I wanted to. I'm going downstairs this time, chat. I'm going downstairs this time, chat. This shit crazy, chat. Oh, what's a note right here?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
Maybe I am crazy.
Workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't.
What the fuck?
And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I?
What?
What you doing?
Nothing. What you doing?
What?
Nothing. What you doing?
Oh, you're playing game?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. Can I see too?
Huh? You want to sit too?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good job, Daddy.
Yeah. Get you a chair.
Good job. Yeah.
Yep. Here you go. Yep.
Sit here. Oh, over here. Please. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow.
And everything went black.
Well, that was cool. Wow.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She
No, that
arose,
was
got
yesterday.
dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran. of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Bro, my man just died, bro.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Oh, no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to come into a staircase. Stanley walked upstairs to... All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
You go upstairs. Wow, you go upstairs and get off. No, you go down.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway. Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Right here. Right here. Yeah.
That one?
Yeah.
Not this one? This say get away. You think I should get away? You think I should go in? You think you think I should get away or go get my mind controlled? Which way? This way or that way?
That way.
This way?
Yeah, that way.
This way?
Yeah. Yeah, this. Here, go to the way. Hey, with the scary?
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah. To the right.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
You want to do it again? Hey, I'll do it again right now. The scary?
Yeah, I'm scared.
You're scared? No, I'm scared too.
Now the
Scared
monitors
too.
jumped to life, their true nature revealed.
Hey!
Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's
You watching
co-workers.
it?
The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place
Wow,
where freedom
sorry.
meant nothing.
This here, sorry, got 23. Stop, then why did?
This mind control
Then
facility,
why?
it was too horrible to believe.
Then
It
why
couldn't
are-
be true.
Then
Had
why-
Stanley really been
Yeah.
under someone's control all this time?
No,
Was this the
then
only
why here?
reason he was happy with his boring
Hey!
job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Whoa.
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent
But
his
the
entire
Gary-
life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls
Yeah.
labeled with emotions.
What? Black
Happy
right here.
or sad or content.
Well, was it
Walking,
Gary?
eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Where should go? Here. Daddy, where's your gun go?
Where my gun go? I ain't got my gun.
Where's the basketball and the gun? Where's the basketball and the gun? Where should go?
Hold on.
Here, go. You go down there to the west. Go down to the west. Here, go down to the west. Go down. What down? Get down. Get down. One, two. Oh. Ow. Oh. You like it? Yeah. You go down. Go down like that. But until you go down. Get up. Get down, go down. Go down. And go to wind. And go upstairs and go in. Hear that?
Yeah, I hear that.
They dreamed.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Yeah, they're all big.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Eh. Yeah. Yeah.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Go down and I go up.
Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
You up too?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Look, I did it.
Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes. If the boss suffers losses, then that's what the boss shows. Yeah, this is probably one of the best games I ever played in a minute. I'm not gonna lie. Sitting there with the little bones. The little bones. Hey, got that little bone with me. Got that little bone with me.
Yeah, look. What's it? See?
Yeah, I see the tag on my shirt.
What's the sickle?
Long ass, let's get it around. What the fuck? So you tell me I ain't going nowhere.
What's out? Yeah.
This big game is so stupid. This game.
What's down there? Look.
Hold on.
Look at right here.
What?
Look.
I see.
Wow, you hear that?
This is a
Yeah, you
the
hear
most
that?
expensive boss.
You hear that?
I hear that.
Yeah, here's the ears. Yeah.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover
I'm
not
looking.
an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad
Yeah, go
guarded
ahead.
the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
No, guys, I said I was a little.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength
You want cheese
to find
puffs?
out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never.
Y'all
It
give me
was
no
unthinkable.
fucking.
Wasn't it? Was it even
Sorry, I'm
possible?
turning my controller on
Had
this
he
time,
truly
bitch.
spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
How long have I been streaming, man? This shit is crazy, y'all. I've been streaming shit for 30
Here was
minutes.
the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all. And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode.
Yeah. I'm playing this free ass game. This shit hard as fuck. I ain't even gonna lie. I've been playing this shit. I've been streaming this shit for like 30 minutes. It's called the Stanley Parable Deluxe. This shit is about you need the cord. Bro, it's about a nigga, I don't know, trying to find his own free will. It's like a nigga narrating the story, and you can either follow what the narrator's telling you to do, or you can make your own decision. And this shit is crazy. I ain't even gonna lie. This shit's so goddamn crazy. This shit fucked me up in the first 5 minutes of me playing this shit. In the first 5 minutes of me playing this shit, this is hours ago. I had to stop playing this shit and start playing this shit again. But a couple hours ago, I was playing this shit, and this shit, it was a narrator, and I'm walking through these rooms, and he's telling me like, yeah, he was faced with 2 doors, and he walked through the one on the left. But there's 2 doors, and I got the choice to walk through either one. So I walked through the one on the right, and the door behind me just shut, and he just started narrating like, but instead of going through the door on the left, he actually goes through the door on the right. That shit fucked me up so bad, I just closed the app. Like, that shit gave me, I was like, yo, this game is crazy. And I turned this shit off, so now I'm here again, making my own decisions, and this shit is crazy, bro. I ain't gonna lie, I'm on like my 5th time playing this shit. No bullshit. Within 30 minutes, I'm on my 5th time playing this shit. And what fucked me up the most was that when I first started the game, it told me to set the time. So I set the time. It told me to set the correct time. Bam. I walked through the wrong door on purpose. The door closed on me. I closed the app. I played this shit again hours later. It tells me to put the time in again. I put the time in. The shit was like, yeah, we noticed that you put the correct time in both times. It was just some weird shit, bro. This game is just weird as fuck, and it's making me feel weird, and it's just cool as fuck. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, it's just a game about making your own decisions, or not. You can follow with the... Bro, this shit is weird. I don't even want to ruin the game. This is what's going on. I've been streaming shit for 30 minutes. Yeah. It's a free-ass game, though. You can download this shit right now. It's called the Stanley Parable Ultimate Deluxe. This shit is fucking me up. Been streaming this shit for 30 minutes. I ain't had a dull moment yet.
Let's say 2.
Cause nothing crazy. I ain't doing shit but walking. I'm pressing buttons. Oh, shit! I got 2 minutes to get the fuck out of here.
You are the star.
Bro, mind you, bro, I just beat the game, bro. I got the trophy and everything. I beat. Bro, all I did, the way to beat the game, where I beat the game, is multiple ways. I walked in here, I was supposed to shut down this mind control. But the time, I was about to say, the time's still going, but I was supposed to shut down this shit, and I did. And that was the end of the game. But this time, I started it up. I like pressed on instead of off. Now I'm here, about to get, I don't know, detonated. I get it. I don't know. Let me get the fuck out of here.
We have so little time left to enjoy it.
But the shit, the narrator fucking me up.
But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me.
I wonder how to turn these lights on.
What all this means, I barely
Oh, the door open. I know exactly what to do.
What's that?
1,
You'd like to know where
2.
your co-workers are. A moment of solace before you're obliterated. Right.
Oh, but my whole shit is that I was just at work, and my man just like realized nobody was at work today, and now this is what he's going through. Like, this shit has been, this shit, you gotta go really download this shit and play this shit to see what I'm talking about. Like, this shit fucking me up.
I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone.
Like, this shit is probably the coolest game I ever played in a minute.
I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense...
That shit didn't work! Oh, I'm about to die! I'm about to die!
It's quite rich.
What's up?
I just hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with...
This door wasn't open before. Yo!
My goodness, only 34
Oh, that's what I'm about to put the code in and open the door.
This so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. The time doesn't grow on trees.
I got you.
Oh, dear me. What's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever up.
Bro, I just fucking died. Bro, I just fucking died.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming new age music.
Bro, these niggas are snapping, bro. Bro, this shit's so nutty, bro. I died. I started back from the beginning again. Cause you keep starting back from the beginning. I'm doing this shit. I'm moving so fast. Bro, the narrator just said, the player's moving so fast, he won't even let the narrator talk. Cause bro, this shit is dumb, bro. This shit nigga's fucking my whole head up. I'm not even gonna lie. Shit fucking my whole head up. Cause like, these niggas just saying, oh my, this game is different. What the fuck? Oh shit, drop my dough.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated.
Bro, the nigga said... No, that's not what the nigga said. The nigga just said I was moving so fast that it's anxiety feeling and it's not good health. So let me play some calming music for you. Like, what the fuck? Usually I type the code in the door open. This time I typed it in so fast, the nigga made me wait. He said, let me play some calming music for you. Bro, I just sat there and listened to elevator music for 20 seconds. Nigga just played elevator music for me just so I could calm down because I'm moving too fast for the game. Shit is crazy, bro. These niggas is like... really just telling the story based off my decisions.
Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for.
What? No, this is crazy.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place, where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content, walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? But you really believe there's an answer? How many times will you replay this bit, looking desperately for a solution? 10? 100? 1,000? I look forward to finding out and to watching the bomb go off each time you fail. Just you and me and a retching explosion of fire and metal over and over and over for all of eternity. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending. Just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Hey, Daddy, can you get a laptop?
You want a laptop?
Yeah.
It's downstairs with Tutu.
Let me put a what's up to the tutu. Hey, Daddy.
Need help?
Daddy, what's it?
The baby need help.
You wash my. Hey, you put my cookie.
Put on Chicky.
Daddy, you put my cookie.
I put on the damn Chicky.
Yeah, I put my cookie. I put my cookie. Put my cookie. I put my cookie.
Hey, stream, I'm about to run to the strawberry bag. I'm about to pause this bit.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's simply killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
That's the real time, isn't it?
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death. As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly. And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Then he pushed the number 4. And finally, he pushed the number 9. Stanley pushed the big red button. Where were all of his co-workers?
Oh, fuck.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail.
Turn off your PlayStation. There's no other way to beat this game.
As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it.